Okay, can we bring up some chairs? Thank you. We're now going to do a bit of an interview with Henrik. Where's Henrik? Fantastic. Come on up, Henrik. So, Henrik Olofson is the CEO of Propstreet. Propstreet is a commercial property marketplace operating in Sweden, and we're going to talk about how AI can deliver better matching of buyer and sellers. So, Henrik, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
No, it's been great for you to join us. We had a good chat the other day about what your business does, and I found it quite fascinating. But clearly I know what you do, but maybe you could let everyone know what does Propstreet do.
Yeah, I'd love to. To start with, thank you for having me. Yeah, it's the first time being in PPW, and I really like the forum. Great what you've done with it. But
thank you.
So my name is Henrik Olofson. I'm the founder and CEO of Propstreet. Propstreet is the marketplace for confidential commercial real estate transactions. So what we are doing is a little bit different to classical classified marketplaces. I will try to explain shortly. So my background is I'm a computer geek originally, like with a strong passion for the commercial real estate industry. Previously, I built a property intel and property data company in the Nordics, where we were gathering all the public data about the commercial real estate industry. We made it available for the commercial real estate investors and the commercial real estate owners in the Nordics. It was a really fun journey, but almost always when I was out selling this product, the commercial real estate investors told me, like, yeah, sure, your product is great, but my biggest challenge is I don't get access to the properties I want to buy. So the supply isn't there for me. And I asked myself, why? Why can't you just go to the public marketplaces online? Because I know there are. And they told me that the supply isn't there. It's like in Sweden, Norway, and Denmark, we had like 5 to 10% of the supply there, and the really nice deals, they weren't there. So I started wondering, what is this? Why is it like this? And started to research it, and I found out that it was almost the same thing all around the globe. I think I researched like 20 markets, and the supply on the marketplaces, I mean the marketplaces we have that are the classical classified marketplaces, they are great, but a lot of the suppliers is missing there. One investor actually had like a really nice metaphor for this. He told me, like, it's a little bit like dating have evolved on internet. So it was like, you remember like the old style dating sites online? You know, you logged in on the web page and you had like a full directory of like singles you could meet. It was like 10, 15 years ago, and often you had to be really lucky there to find a good match. If you were single, you went in there and you were like, oh no, I should have stayed in my relationship. Was usually the but so I got this comparison, and then Tinder was launched. So Tinder was launched, and people started swiping, and suddenly being a single was really fun. And one real estate investor told me, like, yeah, I got this feeling with finding commercial real estate deals. It's like how dating online was before Tinder was there. So this is the space we are targeting. Like the supply, it's like where you have great marketplaces, but the supply isn't really there, and it's due to the nature of the deals. So the deals are very confidential when it comes to commercial real estate transactions. Most of the deals are going in personal networks. People been going to school together, working together since before, and so on, and the deals are not done online. Some are, but like the really big deals and the nicer deals, I would say the markets I've researched, it's like between 5 and 50% that are online. So our target with Propstreet is getting those deals not online yet, getting them online to our platform.
Yeah. But and so you've got an opaque market, you've got hungry buyers who are struggling to find the outcome. So then you go through your model. Okay, you want to create a confidential market. So there's sort of two things. There's a supply side and the demand side. Let's start with the supply side. Why would I, as a property owner wanting to sell my property, commercial property clearly, go to your site? How do you identify who they are, and what are you offering them that they can't get through a traditional broker or through a traditional channel.
Yeah. So going to a broker, they say, I know the whole market, I know all the buyers in the market, but of course that's not entirely true, because there are always changes in people's investment strategies. Some companies are entering the market, there are cross-border investors who want to enter a market. So what we are offering is better or more covering access to the buyers. Propstreet right now, we are live in Sweden, Norway, Denmark and Finland, so 4 Nordic countries, and we have around 10% of the supply there. So we have, I mean, we're a startup still. We've started to get the supply there, but we have far to
And how do you go about generating supply? Do you have a team that goes out and literally knocks on the doors of all the large owners of commercial and retail space?
So it's like we're calling all the broker firms. We're like getting into offering them like a really tight partnership, helping them out with a lot of different things, but mostly it's about expanding their network. But we are actually also offering them access to sales mandate, also properties for sale, so they can get new mandates from us and some other stuff. But mostly it's like cold calling them, telling them you can expand your network. We have lots of really nice buyers.
So I assume if I'm a broker operating in the commercial space, I'm not interested in mass marketing and building a brand. I'm interested in dealing with you, Henrik, as a buyer, and I need to know you're a legitimate buyer, you're not wasting my time, and then I'll go through what's probably an extensive due diligence process. So on the demand side, how do you build up your network of buyers?
Yeah, so I mean, the model we have is we have taken like a classical classified marketplace and turned it upside down and done it exactly the opposite. So to get access to Propstreet, instead of like going online and seeing all the listings publicly, you have to apply for membership. So it's like a community, or it's like a membership club. So an investor wanting to find deals, they have to apply for membership, build a profile, add their investment strategy. We gather a lot of information about what they're looking for, and then we are gathering a lot of information about their investment capacity, so we can put the investment grading on them. Because the thing with these deals are that they don't want to go out with them publicly, because it's so important that the deal stays confidential. And I mean, that's a problem with the marketplace. So what we're doing there is trying to figure out exactly what the demand are looking for, making sure that they are a good investor. And actually we are vetting all the members. We have a semi-automized process, but we actually have one step that is manual on each vetting that each investor entering the platform.
Right, so your objective is, I say I want to use your platform, I want to get access to a whole bunch of commercial transactions. You vet me, I provide you with financial information, company information, and you clearly must use a degree of AI to start to go, wait a second, you're a legitimate, a grade A buyer, maybe a grade B, C, or D. And then I assume based on that additional data, you can then start to match the right properties to my requirements.
Exactly, and it's just one thing about the platform and how it works that I didn't mention is like all the deals are presented through anonymized teasers. So it's not like when you get access to the deals, you don't get the full information as on regular marketplaces with address and pictures and so on. Instead, it's like a data sheet describing the deal. But this matchmaking here is crucial for us, since we can't send out it. So if the solution would be sending out the deals to everyone, then a classical classified marketplace would be in the solution, but it isn't. So the crucial thing here for us is getting the right deal to the right investor, both for the experience for the broker, so that broker get access to good leads, but also for the investors, so that we are relevant. If we have an investor looking for investments in Copenhagen and we're sending investment opportunities in Oslo and Stockholm, they will very soon stop interacting with the platform. So what we have done is actually we have taken all the data points that we have. So here is the most important AI part that we're using in Propstreet. We actually are using AI in lots of stuff. Since we're a startup, We don't have invested in all these structures since before, so everything new that we're building, we are using AI. But the most important thing is the matchmaking. So what we have done is we have gathered all the data on what an investor have shown interest to previously and what they have not been interested to invest in. And we have all this metadata about the investor, their strategy, the company profile, and we have baked this all together. We have, I think we have around like 250,000 data points for interactions with deals on Propstreet. And then we have taken one of OpenAI's models that we're hosting ourselves, and we have trained it. It's, if you're like very tech savvy, it's the Da Vinci model that we have trained on. And we have trained on all the data that we have, and we can now predict an investor's interest in a deal. It's like 80% significant, so which is really good. But we can predict if they are interested in a deal or not, which makes it, when we get the deal on the platform, we can curate it so that we make sure that the best fitting investors get the deal on their table. And if we have some less good deals for them, we're not sending them to it. So we're like just sending the deals really that are a really good fit for them, making the engagement on the platform fantastic, actually. So we are, like when we are delivering a deal to an investor, so we're sending notification via email, we have a response rate now on around 60%. So it's 60% of the investor getting the deal from us are logging in and interacting with the deal, saying, yes, I'm interested or not interested. And this is due to this AI curation.
What's interesting is if you look at the traditional residential marketplace model, which is all about mass advertising and based on position and such is where they make their money, this is all getting right down to what the whole purpose of having a marketplace is, which is to match a buyer and a seller, and it's leveraging AI to get a much better match, what we were actually talking about in the panel session a bit earlier. All that sounds fantastic, but how do you make money out of this?
Yeah, I mean, we're still a startup. We have started to get like really nice traction in the Nordics, showing that it's possible to get this supply on a marketplace and get the demand to interact there. But I would say, to be brutally honest, our business model isn't perfect yet at all. But what we're doing is we have a subscription model for the broker side. The broker side is the supply side on Propstreet. So they have a subscription model, paying yearly to be able to put in deals on the platform. And actually right now, they can put in as many deals as they want to for this subscription fee. We're trying out the subscription model with the investors, so the investors can upgrade as well on their side to get access to more things on the platform. We have around 2% of the users been upgrading so far. And we also have a transaction fee model that we're working with. But I mean, the company, we are at the phase where we have gained really nice traction, proving the model, but the business model, we are really working with it right now. But the transaction fee model is pretty interesting.
So how, if you think about it, right, you've got this matching of a buyer-seller. I, as the buyer, get to see this teaser. I like the property. I click a button, and then I get more information.
Yeah.
How do you make sure in that process, the subscription bit I get, right, because that's just a monthly charge.
Yeah.
But how do you make sure that you get paid for matching the buyer and the seller?
Exactly. So the transaction fee works like this. When an investor finds a property on Propstreet that they actually buy, they have to pay a transaction fee. So when the investor see the deal on the platform, they see the teaser, they also agree to actually pay the transaction fee if they become the buyer. So they accept that. And when the deal is done, we ask the broker to report this in. And then we're actually sharing. Right now it's a 30-70% split. So they get 30% of the transaction fee and we take 70%.
Right, so they get a rebate.
Yeah, exactly.
So they make a bit of an extra margin on top of the transaction fee they're already capturing.
Yes, and actually this is where we are putting our energy right now in the company to try to perfect this model. And actually yesterday evening I had some really interesting discussions with some people who had built marketplaces around the world, and they gave me some really interesting advice how to perfect this model. But I mean, we have found the way to get the traction. The pricing model is, we're tweaking on it.
Yeah, but this is a journey. It's not
Yeah. Of course
right?
it is. Of
and
course
everyone is tweaking pricing models to how to squeeze the lemon a little harder each and every time. Can we bring up the questions, please? Because I think it'd be good to include them. One of the questions that come up is, what challenges or limitations have arisen when using AI for matching buyers and sellers? It's the second question there.
Let me think 1 second so I give a good answer. Well, I mean, the challenge here is to have enough information about the investor. So the real challenge for us is like gathering enough information about the investor to be able to do a good prediction of what they want.
Yeah.
And people don't love to like sitting in forms on a web page, adding information about what they own. They don't really understand. You really need to find the place where they have an incentive to add information to your platform. So we have one place that is when you get a deal, you have to say yes or no to it. When you see the teaser on Propstreet, and when you say no, we are always asking for the reason why you're saying no to it. So it's like a free text information field. And this has been working out really well, because many other ways of collecting information, it's like the wrong place. So when we're collecting this information at this place, we are getting really good data that we can use in the model. Then it's also, I mean, these models are pretty new still. We are using the Da Vinci model, it's an OpenAI model. It's not the most advanced model, so we are trying out the more advanced models as well, but this one is actually doing the job for us. But also it's a matter of processing. It's like when we have, on our platform, we have a couple of thousand users, a couple of thousand investors, and if you want to do the matchmaking like perfect, then you need to get all the information about each of the investors, collect it together, and then query the AI with all the information about every investor. And if we're doing this with the most advanced models, it takes time. So like processing one deal it could take like 2 hours because the limitation of GPU power and so on that you heard about. So that is also a limitation. So doing this really well, I think in a couple of years we will be able to do this much, much better.
Yeah, so what I like about this is we talk theoretically about how AI can do this and can do that and so on, but this is where the rubber's meeting the road in terms of, wait a second, how do I get the data about the individual so I can feed the engine so that I can do a matching that gives me an 80% success rate versus sort of just throwing darts at a dartboard and hope like hell I get a bullseye in that process.
So it's pretty interesting. I mean, what we're doing now is good enough. It actually really does the trick. But we have built models that we haven't shown to the customers yet that is doing this extremely well. But they take a lot of time to process the data, and also the cost for each property that we get online it could be like $10 or $20 for just querying the AI for one property.
Okay, let's do the next question, the top one there. So do you make a confidential market public, or you're keeping it confidential and just matching buyers with opt-in to sellers? It's the second one, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would say that we are not making this, we cannot communicate to our customers that we are making the deals public in any way. So we actually have to keep it confidential, and every step in the process that we are working, we're trying to replicate how the brokers are working in this environment. Because what they are doing is when they have a deal that they want to sell, they look through their CRM, they're like trying to figure out who is the right buyer for this, who do I know that want to buy this? And that is exactly what we are doing as well, but in the digital environment. So we are keeping them confidential. I would definitely say that. So we don't have any ambition of doing the deals public.
Okay. Sellers have the control to show themselves to the buyers, so they can actually say.
Yes, exactly.
That's once they click the teaser and you then know who the seller is?
So the process here is when we have a teaser, we have a deal on the platform, and an investor applies, they want to be a part of the deal, they send their information to the broker. The broker can then choose who they want to select to be in the process, and then the broker is revealing themselves. So it's like the brokers have the power all through the process to keep it like it is today. So when they have, so if a really nice real estate investor have applied for a deal, the broker can just deny them to get access to it, and they don't know anything about the deal.
Okay. You use machine language to qualify investors.
Yeah.
Okay. If yes, then is there any details on how you do it?
Yes, definitely. So it's like two parts of it that we're doing. Like the first vetting process is like the first step of qualifying them, and here we have built a simplified way to get information about the investor. We're trying to use, right now we're using ChatGPT, and we also have another implementation, but it's scraping the internet about information about the investor to start with, so we can get all the public information that there is. Also leveraging some closed governmental registers to get the data. So that's the first part, but then the more significant part here is like the matchmaking part, where we're like qualifying that they are the right one for the right deal. And we have tried a lot of different models here, but the best way is to look at what they previously have done on the platform. We can cluster different kind of investors based on the profiles. For example, there's a family-owned residential developer, or like a commercial developer. They have been interacting with deals in this area before. They've shown interest to this and that. So based on the previous things that they've done on the platform, and actually this, compared to many other platforms, like the buyers stay, they keep buying commercial real estate. It's the job to invest in commercial real estate, so they don't just buy once. Like many people buying like a residential, like buying a villa, they buy it once and then they sell it after 30 years. So you can't get the information, the profile on them to know what they want to buy the next time. But in our case, they are professional buyers, and most of them are buying multiple properties each year and looking at like hundreds of cases each year. So we have that benefit that we can really get to know the buyer, and based on that information, so based on the previous patterns, that's the best teller for us.
Okay, and then the last question is, how do you conceptualize growth within your business, within the business model? As revenue increases, necessitating more transactions and subsequently a larger supply, doesn't that lead you to be very similar to the public portals?
Yes, in many ways it could lead us to that. Still, we have these limitations of not showing everyone the deals. So what we are trying to achieve is what the brokers, as I told you before, like what the brokers are doing is today, when they work with a network, they're like looking at which individual, which buyer would be a good fit for this deal, and then they are like contacting them personally. And we are trying to do it the same way. Right now we have the notification from us when you have a deal is actually very simplified. It's like the same message to everyone. But now we are working with a notification that is written by AI, so we can consider what they have done previously on the marketplace, what kind of company they are, so we can get an even better notification. So we're trying to replicate how the brokers are working with these confidential deals. So I would say that even though we would get the full supply on the marketplace from all the broker firms, we will still not be very, very similar to the regular marketplaces on the market.
Well, at the end of the day, it's very much a tailored, curated process.
Yes.
That you're offering, but doing it at a low cost to you, right?
Yeah.
The old days, it would be you having, as a buyer, having a buyer's agent that would go through all the offers out there to find the one that really meets or a team internally.
Yeah.
And you're basically removing the need for that team.
Yeah, exactly.
Or minimizing the need for the team, not removing it, which is saving them costs, because you're only giving them the 5 deals that they should do,
Yeah.
and not giving them the 20 deals that are absolutely, highly unlikely to make any sense to them.
Yeah.
That's the way I sort of conceptualize
Yeah.
this, which is sort of where the public portals should be going, right? They should be actually answering the question that everyone goes to them with, which is, is this a home I can buy? Is this an apartment building I can buy or rent? And don't waste my time making me look at a whole bunch of crap that is great for the marketing. It's like watching a great TV show on Netflix. If you go and watch the same one on Hulu and they shove advertisements every 5 minutes, it starts to become annoying.
Yep.
Okay, and it's the same sort of concept. So it's the interesting question is you're managing to extract some value from the buyer by charging them, but then they're a professional buyer, so they're used to paying fees, which is the secret here.
Key here.
Versus the traditional model where if you can, it's almost like if I was, and maybe this is a way to think about the portal of the future, so I'm digressing, but I'm just thinking, is that there becomes a two-speed system. There's the person who is happy to surf for free and get the advertisements, just like TV, okay? And you're not going to get the exact listings that you want, and you're going to have to do a bit of the effort yourself. Or if you're time poor and you don't want to have all the noise, you pay a fee, the like Netflix fee. It's a $9.99 a month or a $4.99 a month while you're searching, and I'll give you the more tailored results. Which means then the portal is moving from charging the advertiser to charging the user, but it's a freemium model from the user perspective.
Yep.
Maybe there's something in that model.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know around that.
But
anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So, but just to round up, so far we are in Sweden, Norway, and Finland and Denmark, but we will keep digging there for a while and make sure that the business model is really working out. I think we're pretty close to something that would change the dynamics totally in the company. But then we are looking out to the rest of the world, because I think there is a gap in this area everywhere.
Yeah.
So looking forward to talk with all of you professionals in this area, in your markets, about this.
Okay. Henrik, thank you very much. Love what you're doing. I think it's interesting and unique.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much for that.